wife, they are so tired that when they share the bed, the husband is facing east and the wife is facing west. There is no communication between them. Why we want to imitate? What is that noise? Bahir sir? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this balance. Subhanallah. How nice it would be if at the right time, in the right stages, whilst that child is growing up, that child is never deprived of motherly love. I remember in the early days, they were saying that mother's milk is no good. Give them SMA. After 10 years, they've changed their mind. They say, no, don't give them SMA, give them mother's milk. This is the world that we live in. You can't beat the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Something that is natural. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, وَأَشْرَاتُهَا أَن تَكْسُرَ أَوْلَادَ الزِّنَا. And the sign of Qiyamah is that you will have a high number of illegitimate children. A lot of the children don't even know who their parents are. Where is the mother, where is the father? أَوْلَادُ الزِّنَا. Zina itni aam ho jayegi ki bacche sare waladuz zina ho. Waladuz zina. The child will never know who my father was. And that is why we have all these different organizations fostering and adoption. And you go everywhere, fostering and adoption offices. We have awladuz zina. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, وَكَثُرَتِ الطَّلَاقِ وَكَثُرَتِ الطَّلَاقِ. Divorce will be at an all-time high rate. Today, someone gets married over a flimsy argument. The man gets angry, talaq, 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 go back to your house. Subhanallah. We have so many women who are divorced, men, single parents. So many. La ilaha illallah. وَكَثُرَتِ الطَّلَاقِ. There was a time, subhanallah, this is not a subject, something I can't cover right now. We have a different subject. But in the time of Sahaba Kiram Ajma'een, if ever a woman was divorced, she was only divorced for a period of iddah, the waiting period. The minute the iddah period was over, all the companions would have this fikr. They would fear that what will happen to my Muslim sister, and they would want to marry her straight away. Straight away. And this was not for lust. This was purely for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To unify and bond and to protect the ummah. To protect the ummah. وَلَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, وَيُكْبَزُ الْعِلْمِ. Sacred knowledge will be taken away. Today we have youth who spend 3 hours on the internet. You tell them to pray Quran for 3 hours, and they'll start scratching their head. Can't do that. They enjoy the internet, but they don't enjoy the kalam of Allah. Don't take me wrong, my respected brother. Allahu Akbar. We'll be at home doing something that is not accepted in Islam, and it's easier for us than to do something that will take us to Jannah. وَيُقْبَزُ الْعِلْمِ. Ilm will be taken away. Until a time will come, لَا يَجِدُونَ إِمَامًا يُصَلِّي بِهِمْ. In the hadith it comes, a time will come, and I have seen this with my own eyes. A time will come that few of the people will come in the masjid and they will say, who will become the imam? Who can lead the prayers? But imam kaun banega? La yajiduna imam, and they haven't got an imam. Why? And I'll say this, my respected brothers. Because we don't take imams to be some professional people, qualified people. What is their salary? They don't even deserve that. They haven't got family. And so the lowest paid people are the scholars. Lowest. And I'll give you an example, my respected brothers. I'll give you an example. I don't know about Bristol, but I'll give you an example back in Leicester. Anyone who comes to our madrasa, there is a fee for the children. From 5 o'clock to 7:15, daily the children come. And the fee that has been fixed for 1 month is £15. Kitna? Can you say it? £15. Kitna? 1 5. That is for how many days? 1 month. There was a time when the fee was £12.50. Then we had to increase, obviously, the expenses. And from 12.50 it became 15. We had parents coming, arguing, fighting. Oh, you people are there just to make money. £15, £15, what's this? And I said, sabr. But yet, when it comes to private tuitions, to teach your child mathematics, English, biology, by someone who does not even know how to do istinja, someone who is a non-Muslim, who does not even know how to sleep, how to eat, how to use the bathroom, the toilet, he will come and sit there, right, for me to teach your child mathematics, my fees are £15 per hour. You won't find a Muslim arguing there. He will kneel on his back and say, no problem, I'll give you 3 weeks in advance, teach my child. And this is our attitude. We take Islam to be very, very cheap. Very cheap. And so we find people no longer interested in occupying the musalla. And in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Imam, Allahu Akbar, he was the most senior. He was the president. He was the prime minister. He was the king. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in his entire life was an imam of a masjid. Entire life he was an imam. With all the jihad, the ghazawat, with all the noble duties that he needed to discharge in the 23 years, never did he lack from his responsibility of imamat. And therefore we see that when he, at his demise, Hazrat Ali said, وَكَانَ أَبُو بَكْرٍ أَعْلَمُنَا, that Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala an is the most senior and the most learned from the companions. Who else can deserve this noble position but Abu Bakr Siddiq? And so he became the Imam. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, because Muslims themselves will no longer respect their teachings, their Quran, and their scholars, and their huffaz. They will not value them. Therefore a time will come, لَا يَجِدُونَ إِمَامًا يُسَلِّ بِهِمْ. They will have no Imam. And you go many parts of the world. I remember when I was in Portugal, in Spain, it was time for Salah, Maghrib Salah. And there were people already waiting, and there was no one qualified just to read Maghrib Salah. And it just so happened that we were Musafirin, and we looked, and I said, look, it's Ghurub Shams. What time is it here? What is happening? Quickly. I said, no, we are waiting for someone to come. And I said, what do you mean someone to come? He says, no, someone to come. You qualify, please lead us the prayers. A time could come that there's a janazah in front and there will be no one to even read the janazah salah. That they won't even know the dua that my father has passed away. When the Imam says Allahu Akbar, what dua do I read? That they don't even know how to read. Allahumma gfir li hayyina wa mayyitina wa shahidina wa ghaibina wa sabirina wa kabirina wa dhakarina wa unsana. Allahumma man ahyaytahu minna fahiyya lil-Islam wa man tawaffaytahu minna fatawaffahu ala al-Iman. They don't even know this dua for their father who has worked their entire life for that child today. That child is deprived. He does not know anything, and he follows the Imam and he says Allahu Akbar and he's just quiet. He won't even know what to do. This is jahalat. Allahu Akbar, respected brothers. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, as we come closer to the day of Qiyamah, such will be the condition of difficulty. Such will be the problem, that a man will pass from a cemetery and will look at someone who has passed away at the grave, and he will, out of frustration, he will say, وَيَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي مَكَانَ صَاحِبِ هَذَا الْقَبْرِ, I wish I was occupying your tomb, your place, that you were alive and I would have died. This is the difficulty that people will go through, the fitna, the trials and tribulation that people will go through. Aap Hazrat thake to nahi? Are you tired? Are you sure? Yes. Bristol people, are you strong? Yeah, are you strong people? MashaAllah. You're not saying it out of just haya, modesty. No. Dil se keh rahe na? Because there was an imam who was lecturing, and MashaAllah, he was lecturing slowly. The first saf from the back went away, the second saf went away, the third saf went away, the fourth saf went away, and the sufuf was just going. But this imam, he wasn't from Leicester. He says, I'm going to carry on. And he was carrying on. And everybody on the right, left went away, except one person in front. And he was there just looking at the imam. And the imam says, you see, MashaAllah, look at this one young man. He's the only one sitting here listening to me attentively. Everyone went away. And after the bayan, the scholar said that, did you understand what I have said? He says, no, not really, I didn't understand anything. So the imam said, then why are you sitting here? He says, well, you were sitting on my musalla. I'm waiting, you finish your bayan, I can take my musalla and go home. So I've just noticed that I'm sitting on a musalla too. And I hope nobody has a claim on this musalla. So everybody's okay? Inshallah. And Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, a time will come, Amsi khayrum min al-yawm. Yesterday will be better than today. A time will come, yesterday will be better than today. Wal-yawmu khayrum min ghadin. And a time will come that today is better than tomorrow. Today is better than tomorrow. There will be more fitna for you tomorrow. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave an example. You have a tasbih in front here, and this is a tasbih. And if this tasbih was to break, you will see the beads come out from it very, very quickly, one after another. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, this is how fitna will come to you, one after another in quick succession, very, very quickly. You'll block one thing. Josh, take this out. This is how fitna will attack you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. These are just some of the minor signs that come to mind, and I have highlighted for you the minor signs which we have noticed and we see in our time. Everything that is out there. Alamatul Kubra. As for the major signs, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said that the very first sign to transpire from Alamatul Kubra is the coming of a man whose name is Dajjal. Dajjal. The word Dajjal is taken from the Arabic word Dajjal. And Dajjal means to conceal the truth, to hide, to delude, किसी को धोखा देना, to deceive. The falsifier, Antichrist. ये सारे नाम Dajjal के लिए इस्तेमाल किए जाते हैं. Dajjal is a human being, but one of the greatest magicians that has ever touched onto the face of this earth. No magic is a greater magic than the magic of Dajjal that he will display. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, ما بين خلق آدم إلى قيام الساعة